What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Kyle Beats. Today's video, I wanted to do a straight up tutorial on the five things that you can do instantly to make your drums sound better. I did a tutorial on the 5 things that you can do to make your melodies sound better. The things I talked about in that video were kind of things that nobody has really talked about, that I've never seen a tutorial on. So I kind of wanted to just find 5 things that I do when using drums to either switch it up, things you can do that will quickly just make your kick sound better, or like all drums, hi-hats, kicks, everything. Also, I noticed you guys in the melody video that I did writing things in the comments like, yo Kyle, you also like do this and do this, but you don't really talk about it, and it's kind of unique to you. So if you guys know any other things that you see me do with my drums, maybe it's not in this video, let me know down below, because that definitely helped a lot of people out. So let's get into it. If you haven't subscribed yet and you're watching these, what are you doing? Subscribe, hit the bell, get notified when I post. Go follow me on Instagram at Kyle Garvin Beats. I post original content there. And let's get it. Let's get into this video in 3, 2, 1. So all of these like tips and tricks are something you can probably apply to a lot of different things. It might be something for a hi-hat that you can use for a snare or whatever. I have this melody right here that I just played. The first trick of the day is pitching your hi-hats down. Don't underestimate pitching your hi-hats down. Coming into the sound here, clicking on the sound. This is the super hi-hat. I do this a lot in my beats, whether it's by right clicking, going to the piano roll and just holding shift and clicking down. Like even that is, I already like that better. This is like a sad type of melody to it. Maybe pitch it down. Like I literally already like that better, and it's amazing. Or if you don't want to come in here and shift the hi-hats down, you can do this with snares and claps too, but I use this the most with my hi-hats more than snares and claps. You can also come in here and pitch it down. So I actually like it just pitched down twice on here. It has a different effect either way you do it. And you can also do that with snare. I do that with snares sometimes, not so much with claps. Just because I like those high-pitched claps. Coming to a snare sometimes, and that's a regular snare. You can get cool effects by just pitching down the sound. Something as simple as that for tip number 1. All right, so trick number 2 of the day is shortening your claps / snares and maybe even your hi-hats. I'll show you what I mean by that. Keep in mind, these are instant things that you can do. These are not general tips. These are things that you can do instantly to improve your beat on the spot. If you don't like something the way it sounds, you can whoop really quickly and make it sound better. And see this out tab right here. If you pull this around like this, it will make it shorter. I do it on hi-hats too, and I'll show you that in a second. So I'm gonna do it on the snare here, the Gucci snare. I feel like it needs it a little bit. If you want to trim it a little bit too by pulling it here, you can trim it to the end and whatever. So you can hear it now. Make it a little shorter. It just gives it a cool little effect, and I honestly like that better than the first. The snare is in here just to give it a little more bounce. And I also do that a lot with my hi-hats. If you can come in here to the super hi-hat and do the same thing and just shorten it up a little bit. Maybe it just needs, and sometimes you might need to normalize it after, but maybe it just needs to be a little choppier. It doesn't need to be, like especially with snares, sometimes snares go on for a while. You don't have those short snare sounds. Step number 3, while we're on the topic of claps and snares, is EQing the low end out of a snare. EQing the low end out of a snare or a clap. Obviously, if you have sounds from the Flex drum kit, you're probably not gonna have to deal with that. Occasionally, you might wanna use different sounds, or you might wanna use other sounds. For example, I pull up this J Dilla snare. Not a lot of EQ on them, so you have to do a lot of like mixing to get them to sound right. I'll copy and paste the pattern from the clap. I'm gonna put it into the snare, and let's see what it sounds like. It's a pretty ignorant sounding snare. And if we go to the EQ, a blank EQ, we can see there's like a lot of low end. You know what I mean? There's a lot of low end for no reason. So if you come up here, bada bing, bada boom, go to preset, 40 hertz, looks like this. can even click it and drag it up a little bit, make it a little more powerful. And just like that, a little quick bada bing, preset, bada boom. You go from this with it kind of like sounds like a weird low kick end on it to this. Tip number 4 is turning the volume up on your kick and putting a simple EQ on your kick drum. I'll show you what I mean by that. So if you come into the kick drum, it sounds like this. Here's the pattern. So if you come in here to the velocities, each one of these has a velocity, come down here and just simply turn these up. They will punch a little bit harder if you turn them up. It's like hitting it harder. When you hear a piano, when you hear whatever, if you hit the key harder, it will kind of have a different type of velocity. It's like a normal instrument. It's the same thing with kicks. And say you already did that and you're like, Kyle, man, the kick still isn't hitting, man. It's 6 dB. Everything looks good on the levels wise, like my kick still isn't hitting. You can come in here, fruity parametric EQ or whatever EQ you like to use. And the kick punchiness is gonna come from 2 different areas. It's gonna come from kind of the low end around here, and it's also gonna come from the middle range around here. And it depends on the kick. Each kick is kind of different, how it's recorded, where it's recorded, whatever. Each kick is gonna sound different. You might have too much low end and you need to take some out. You're like, man, it's just too much low end, especially if you have an 808 and it's like kind of competing. But yeah, for me, a lot of the times I like to have a punchy kick, but at the same time hearing that kind of like that sound from the bass come into it. And you might even need to bring this third band down here if it is clashing with the 808 too much. It just gives it a little bit more of a punch. Tip number 5 of the day is turning on the loop points on a open hat percussion sound that you have in your pattern. I'll show you what I mean by this. It's kind of hard to explain. Simple open hat from the Kingdom kit. And if you come in here and turn on the loop points right here. I like to do pitched down open hats just to give it like a cool dirty feel to it. And if I turn the loop points off, and it kind of sounds weird. It sounds like it doesn't belong in there. Something about it is a little off. I want it to stop right here. I want it to stop at this bar right here. So with the loop points on, it basically is going to play until you have it stop. People do this with their 808s. I do this a lot with my percussion. So it's basically gonna play this much. It's gonna play, and then when the note stops, it's gonna stop because I turned the loop points on. And it's gonna sound dope. It's gonna sound like this. And usually I do it before a clap, so it goes tss, and it stops right when the clap hits. Sometimes there's sounds that don't have loop points and they don't keep repeating because there is no loop, because there's no loop point set in the actual file. If you don't have that, you can come in here to the actual volume tab, turn the attack down, turn everything down. Basically, you don't really need anything, and then just put this hold button on, and it's gonna hold until you release. I hope you guys learned something. I tried to find things that I haven't really seen anywhere. Little things that I do that kind of probably go unnoticed, and little tricks and tips that just comes from experience that you just do really quickly to like change up your beat so it's not all just the same. So I have ideas for like songs and stuff. I do want to finish this beat and let you guys watch me finish this beat. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Let's finish this beat. shift it down too. I just wanted to record it like that. So far. Alright guys, so I hope you guys like this. I'll show you a little preview of this when I close this video out. But if you liked it, please drop a like. All the drum sounds were used from the Flex kit. Oh my god, make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. My name is Kyle Beats. Thank you guys. Honestly, thank you guys for supporting these videos. It's lit. We're not stopping. Kyle, bro, you post so many videos. I'm gonna keep going forever and I'm not gonna stop. Wow, that's crazy. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter at Kyle Garver Beats. Just stay up to date with what I'm doing. We're almost done with the podcast set. I'm almost done figuring out how the hell I'm going to do it because recording a video for a long time and uploading it, there's a lot of things that go on. Your boy Sty, I forgot to mention, if you're like, why does he have red on his eyes? This is my first time watching him. The styes are going down. Got a pair of styes that have been bothering me the past like month. About to do another warm compress. Happy Valentine's Day. Thanks for watching this video. Appreciate it. I hope you got something out of this. This beat's crazy. Let's hear it. Let's close out this video. Peace out in 3, 2, 1.
Yo, Kyle, this shit's crazy.